Hello everyone, my name is John with New Leads in Life. Work with New Leads in Life so you can have a new lease on life. And today I'm here to talk to insurance agents about the unfair advantage held over them. And this is by the IMOs, by the carriers themselves, because they have something that you do not, and it's something that you need to learn to develop if you want to be successful within this industry, if you want to make money for yourself, and if you want to be a free entrepreneurial person. You are going to need to learn how to utilize the advantage that the industry has been using for years and years and years, and need to understand why the carriers are so successful, why the IMOs are so successful, and why 90% of agents end up failing. Now, before I get into the unfair advantage that these people kind of hold over you, I want to get into really just the insurance food chain and how things kind of go. And I'd seen a few different studies, and the numbers were pretty varying insofar as who actually holds the money and who actually holds the power, depending on the agenda that the person wanted to say. That, for example, an IMO would calculate it one way and say, oh, agents make most of the money. And then, an independent viewer who maybe doesn't like the insurance agents industry in general, or a former agent who, left the industry, was saying, oh, it's all concentrated at the top, 95% of it goes, yeah, right? So anyway, I sifted through a couple different things, and this was kind of the general numbers that I got out of everything from the more reliable sources that I was taking a look at. So really the insurance food chain goes like this. At the top is where most of the money is made, right? So half of the money really, again, these are just, rounded out numbers here. These are not exact numbers, so don't quote me on this. But around half of the money, the majority of it, the largest portion of it, goes to the carriers and providers, goes to the people who are actually providing the insurance. I don't think many people would disagree with me on that. The people that are actually designing the products, making the products, and having other people sell them, they're the ones making most of the money, right? Now, below them, you have the IMOs who hire agents, making a little over a third of that, about a third of that, okay? So they're taking a pretty significant chunk out of this insurance, revenue pie as well. And down at the bottom, you have, making the littlest amount of money, the insurance agents. And I mean, this makes sense too, because IMOs, carriers, these are bigger corporations, right? Agents and agencies are usually made up of one or a few individuals, right? So maybe one person or a 3-person agency, something like that. 5-person agency, even not quite as big as a IMO or a carrier or a provider, right? So something to kind of keep in mind here. This kind of just makes sense numerically that, the more people who work for the bigger corporation who also happens to have the product that the agents are selling, the more money they're going to make. But that being said, the carriers are making most of the money, and the carriers have been in business for years, right? The IMOs are making money, and the IMOs have been in this business for years. And the people who are often not making a lot of money are the agents at the bottom. 90% of agents who join the industry end up quitting. That is the reality. So we need to kind of understand why these guys have the money and why these guys are staying in the game, because clearly there's money here, but the agents aren't really getting them. And let's take a look at what the carriers, the providers, the IMOs all have in common that you watching this video more than likely don't have. They have an audience, they have attention, and they have a household name brand. Think of somebody like State Farm, Liberty Mutual. Everybody knows who they are. You look on their social media, they have an audience of people. They're generating attention, be it through television ads, be it through social media ads, whatever it is. They are using their audience, gaining more attention to grow their audience, to build a brand for themselves, right? People know who they are, and they flock to them. They use those resources that they have to, like I said, broaden their audience and their brand. So the carriers, the providers, the IMOs, people understand and know who these people are, right? They have influence over just about everybody, right? Just like anybody watching their TV sees a Liberty Mutual ad or whatever it is, right? Like they have influence over the person who's watching the ad. They have influence in the minds of the agents who are selling their products, right? They leverage this influence to monetize it. This is why you work for these brands in the first place, is because you know people trust their name and will pay them for it. When people are paying for an insurance policy, typically, I mean, they're not paying because they're confident you as the agent can deliver the product. They're confident that Liberty, State Farm, whoever it is you're working with, doesn't matter, right? I'm just naming some big ones off the top of my head. Whoever it is that you're working with, they can deliver on the promise. If you were selling them on, hey, I'm going to deliver on the promise of if such and such goes wrong, I'm going to compensate you for it, they wouldn't buy from you. They don't trust you. You are working off the trust that and the brand that these companies have built for you to be able to sell for them, right? If they did not have this brand, if they did not have this audience, if they did not generate this attention, you wouldn't be able to sell for them in the first place, okay? So that's number one. And that's why they have the most amount of money, right? It's not for some nefarious reason. It's not unfair that they have the most amount of money because they have the entire brand that you sell from and sell off of anyway, right? So if you can make a really great living selling from their brand, then I think it's more than fair. So that's why they command so much of the food chain, so much of that pie. They take such a big chunk out of it, is because, like I said, they have the influence and the leverage to monetize that influence. They understand how to do that, right? So now you're probably thinking, okay, well, you know, I'm not a carrier. I'm not State Farm. I don't know how to do it. Whatever. You need to still learn. This is the key to success in this industry. You need to figure out a way to get these three things. You need to figure out how to generate attention, grow an audience, and have a brand for yourself. This is the key to success. This is the unfair advantage that the very few agents at the top of this 15% pie, because even out of these agents, there's probably 10% of agents that are taking 12% of this chunk of pie. So really, about 90% of agents are left with 3%, a little 3% chunk of pie for 90% of agents to share. Most of the time, that's how it goes. The agents that are it's really the top percent of agents who are taking the most out of this chunk. So most of you watching this video aren't even getting 15% because that is not distributed evenly, and you know that. It is distributed to the winners. It's distributed to the people at the top agents, the top producers, right? So what they have over you, the unfair advantage that they hold, is these three things. One, they generate attention. Two, they have an audience of people. And three, they have a brand. They're known in their community, right? They're known for being, hey, I go to Tim when I need insurance, right? Tim generated attention by going to an event, knocking on doors, sending people emails, mailers, cold calls, whatever he was doing at the time. He built an audience of people through maybe an email list, a book of business, client book, whatever it is. He built his audience, and later that turned into a brand when he started getting more people referring him because his brand was strong, right? People knew who Tim was. And I'm not talking brand like he had a big logo and this and that. That doesn't matter. The brand is just simply people know who you are, know what it's like to do business with you, okay? So Tim did this back in the day a little bit different than how you would do it now because you have new techniques that actually make it easier for you to be successful today. So you need to learn to develop these three things: audience, attention, and brand. Starting with attention. So attention, aka reach, right? Reaching people, getting in front of people, getting their attention can be gained in mass amounts on TikTok and Reels with impressions, right? So I just recorded a video last night. may or may not be out yet by the time this video is released, on the amount of attention that I generated through all I did was post every day on TikTok and Meta Reels. My videos took 100 seconds or less to make with the editing that I had for them. I show you guys how to do that. If you need to check my YouTube channel, look for that video. It took less than 100 seconds to make these videos. It took probably another 3 minutes to actually post them to all the social platforms. So really about 4 minutes a day. And I ended up getting over 100,000 organic views that I didn't pay a single penny for in 5 months. Right? So I got a lot of the attention. That attention turned into an audience. I got a lot of followers on Instagram from it. I've gotten quite a few people even subscribed here on YouTube. My Facebook group that I started 5 months ago went from 0 to over 150 members now. And last month it was below 80. So we're really, really growing on there. And I was able to grow my audience because of the attention that I gained. So first of all, you need to gain attention. And the best way to do that right now is posting content. Why do I say this? Because it is free, for one thing. You don't need to spend a single penny to do this, right? And the reach is enormous. The reach is absolutely enormous. To get 100,000 views, imagine back in the day, if 20 years ago I told you, hey, I can put you in front of 100,000 eyeballs for free in the next 5 months, and it'll only take you 4 minutes a day. You would jump out of your freaking seat. Like, you'd be crazy to not take that up, right? So take advantage of the tools that you have now with social media and do this. I've shown you that it can be done. If you need more help with it, you don't know what to post on TikTok Reels, whatever it is, we have a year's worth of free TikTok content supplies for insurance agents, so it's not an excuse for you. If you're watching this YouTube channel, you have no excuse to be posting content every day. We've made so many videos on content, so many free resources on content. If you need the resources, join our Facebook group. The link to that is in the description of this video. You need to develop an audience, right? So you use this attention that you gain to build an audience. You funnel people down into your audience. Just released another video a couple weeks ago, or actually closer to a week ago, about how you can actually funnel people to a Facebook group where you can then monetize them, right? So go look at my organic audience video after this. I'm not going to go too into detail here because that's another 12-minute video all in itself. But you need to gain that attention from TikTok Reels. Take those people, filter them through your audience. People from TikTok, move them over to Instagram. Every single new follower that you get on Instagram, shoot them a DM, see if they're interested in insurance. If they're not, shoot them a link to your Facebook group. Make sure everyone is funneling down to the Facebook group. Continue to post value in the Facebook group there, right? And it doesn't need to be long. You don't need to write an essay every day. Just, hey, I learned this today. I was reading this book. Or, hey, I just did work with a client, saved him $3,000 doing this simple thing. Maybe keep your eye out on it, right? Over time, people are going to trust you. You're going to develop a brand. People are going to know, hey, when I'm in Billy's Facebook group, he gives me a lot of different advice, value. He did this thing for me that saved me a whole bunch of money. I want to work with him. I need insurance now. Or even people who already have insurance, right? Even people that already have bought insurance, they saw you on TikTok, thought it was neat, liked what you were providing, and then they join your Facebook group, they see the value you're posting every day. All of a sudden now their cousin needs insurance, or their in-laws need insurance, and they talk to them at the family gathering. Yeah, you should check out Billy, man. I've been following him for a while. He's posting all this stuff on TikTok. He really knows his stuff. I would recommend you go with Billy. He's helped me a lot and even though I haven't got insurance from him, I already have an insurance plan. Billy knows what he's talking about. Check this guy out. Now, I'm curious to see what you think of him, because if it goes well with Billy and he does good business for you, I might switch over to him. These things happen. This is how it happens. This is how it starts. This is how you build your brand. You consistently, over time, continue to post and post and post. And I'm saying this from personal experience, because I've done all these things that I'm teaching you here. That's why I'm so confident when I'm talking about them, because I've experienced this firsthand. People who've switched lead vendors. I was working with this lead company doing this, came over to talk to us. Because they knew, they're like, wow, okay, what John is doing here is a lot different. And he's showing me week in and week out, posting 2 times a week on YouTube, building his brand and building his audience on all these other platforms. I see him out here practicing what he preaches. I want to talk to this guy. So eventually, you can build your referral network from the clients that you get from social media and become a household name in your community. That's what having a brand is about. Because so many people think, well, I can't be State Farm. You know, they're so big, they're a big corporation, they've been around years, whatever. You don't need to become State Farm to make money. You don't need to be a household name in Reno, Nevada if you're, selling insurance in New Jersey. You don't need to do that. It's not what you need to do. You need to become a household name in your community. You need to infiltrate those family gathering dinner talks. Hey, I just bought a new car. Well, have you gotten it insured yet? No, haven't checked it. Go to Billy. That's how you become a household name, a dinner conversation name in your community. That's what you need to do. And this is how you do it. Because everyone in your community, they're all on social media. If they're not on TikTok, they're on Facebook. If they're not on Facebook, they're on Instagram, right? If they're not on Instagram, they're on TikTok, right? They're on one of these three. Not like 90 to 95% of the people in your community are on these three, right? So you need to reach them where they're at. Be present in their minds every single day when they follow you and see your content, and be somebody who's recognizable to them. Okay? So we help people develop attention, an audience, a brand, and going a step further, leads that they can instantly monetize through our exclusive lead system. It's a done-for-you multi-dimensional lead generating process. We operate on the 3 major platforms so that you can be seen by 95% of the people in your community. You can get in front of them much faster and go from 100,000 views in, let's say, 5 months to a week by advertising on these platforms, paying to jump ahead of the queue, and attaching lead forms to your post so that the people who see it that are instantly interested can actually book a time to speak with you directly. So it just basically cuts out all the filler from this system and just takes people straight from attention, audience, brand. It takes them all the way past that straight to a lead that you can monetize right away. Of course, it does cost a little bit more to do this, but it's very, very well worth it. As advertising through social media, when you're able to get cheap lead costs, you can essentially figure out your entire what a client costs to even acquire in the first place. So it helps you jumpstart your audience on these platforms, helps give you a little bit of a kickstart. And the best part about this system is it's not a system that you have to recurringly pay for. We hand it off to you once it's all completed, and it is completely and entirely free for you. So if you're interested in generating more leads, if you already have a social media audience kind of developed, or you just want to skip the queue, you got the money but you don't got the time, and you want to start generating leads on social media now and quick, give us a call, email me, DM me, whatever it is. On pretty much every social platform I'm there. You can shoot me a message, and we'd be happy to speak with you and more than happy to work with you and make you a lot of money. So hope that this video was a help to those of you who watched it, and I'll catch you in the next one.